Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the fact that it's breaking 12K, it's going above it, below it. You can see right now it's flirting with that $12,000 level. So if you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So this is a move we've been talking about for the last 2 months, okay? So if we go back, everyone remembers this regime over here. We called it our reaccumulation range, right? Not a distribution phase, which is what a lot of people called it. It was a reaccumulation range. We broke out into a new level, but at any time during a bull market, we must always be ready for the 20-week moving average. And we talk about, okay, well, what constitutes a successful test of the 20-week moving average? And of course, there's not like a specific quantitative amount I can say, but this looks like a pretty good test so far, right? If we just look at this region right here, this looks like a pretty good test of the 20-week moving average so far. And exactly what happened during the last market cycle has happened during this market cycle, okay? So what it was, again, was it was a move up. So if we take a measured move from the bottom to the top, to the local top, a 20% move up, all the way back down to the 20-week moving average, and then a slower move back to the local top. Okay, so we had that breakout move, the correction back to the 20-week, and then a slower move back up to the prior local top. Okay, so if we go back and remind ourselves what happened during the last cycle at that first successful test of the 20-week, this is what happened, right? We had that 20% move up, approximately, going back down to the 20-week, which also was the prior local top, same thing today. Then a slow move back up to the local top, more or less. It didn't quite make it, but it was more or less in that ballpark. Now that we're there, we have to say, okay, well, will the trend continue, right? So will we continue this trend? And if it does, what does that mean? Well, if it does continue, then that means that the price of Bitcoin would go back down to the 20-week moving average. However, it would be higher than it was before. So the first time it corresponded to the prior local top, okay, and it made a new bottom, which corresponded with the 20-week moving average. If it goes back down now to the 20-week moving average, or as it did in the last cycle, it only went down. It was slightly higher than it was before. So one of the things we'll quickly do is we will look at a bar pattern. We'll start from here. We'll go all the way over here. Okay. We'll take this pattern. So this is that pattern right here. You see it. And all we're going to do is we're going to drag it all the way over. If I can do it, we're going to drag it all the way over to the present day. Okay. So we're just taking that same pattern and dragging all the way over. So if we overlay it, you can see how similar it looks. This is that move that we've been talking about for quite a long period of time now, right? We had the move up. Unfortunately, we did not stay in this accumulation territory up here. We came back down to the 20-week, which is similar to what happened last market cycle. As we said, if we continue this trend, we'll slowly go back up to 12K. That's exactly what we did. So this one was a more explosive move to 12K, back down to the 20-week, a slower move to 12K. And then if we continue, okay, so if we continue this trend, then we would go back down to the 20-week moving average, okay? So that would mean going back down about 10, 11%, maybe less, because it depends on when we test it. Remember, in a prior video, we showed that the 20-week moving average is going up by, conservatively going up by $100 per week, okay? Probably a little bit more than that, but if you just assume 100 per week, and we look at the 20-week moving average today and say, okay, it's currently 10,556. Let's say in a week it's closer to around 10,700. Then the following week, maybe 10,850. We're doing 150 a week to be a little bit more what's likely. So in say 3 weeks, the price of the 20-week moving average, or that price corresponding to the 20-week moving average of Bitcoin, will be approximately $11,000. Okay, so in the same manner, if we go back down and test the 20-week moving average again, let's say we come back down and test it in a few weeks, then maybe we test it at around $11,000 and then we go up. Okay, and then we go back up. This would, of course, be if it's an identical test to the last market cycle, which we know it doesn't have to be. We know it does not have to be. Okay, it can break through 12K and go to 14K today if it wanted to, right? Bitcoin does not necessarily care about what I think is going to happen, or whatever pattern may or may not repeat. The point is so far we've been following this pattern and it has been repeating. So we're giving an idea of, well, this is what it felt like last market cycle. Okay, we had a crazy move up to a new local high, a drop down to the 20-week, which also was the prior local top, a slower move back up to the local top at 12K, and then if we continue, it will be another drop back down to the 20-week moving average, okay? And if we continue on in the same fashion, it would then be a slow drop back to the 20-week, and then a slow move back up to 12K again. And if this takes place exactly how it did during the last cycle, then we're talking about not breaking out above it until the end of the year. So going into 2021, we would then break above it then if it is an identical test, okay? Again, there's always wicks, right? You can always see a wick to 12.5. We've seen wicks up to 12.5 before. What we want to see for if this trend is going to be finished at this point, then either we would see this break up and go on up to 14K, or go sideways. And if it goes sideways, then maybe altcoins can start to get their act together. But as we've always said, the best case for altcoins is when Bitcoin is above the 20-week moving average and going sideways. If Bitcoin is going up too quickly or down too quickly, week over week, this is not good for altcoins. And this is why the focus during times like that should in fact be Bitcoin, as we've said. And it remains the same thing, right? Bitcoin if it's too bullish, if it's going up week over week, if it's too bearish, altcoins will bleed. And the down part of that is, if Bitcoin goes back and tests the 20-week moving average, I understand it's not fair necessarily, but altcoins will likely continue to bleed. Even though they didn't go up when Bitcoin went up, they will still continue to bleed. And you might say, well, it's not fair. Well, too bad, right? And that's just how the market works. And you just need to become cognizant of how it works, right? And this is why I evaluate a lot of altcoins in terms of what they're worth in Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, if you're dynamically moving out of these coins, I'm either going to Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then if it's Ethereum, then eventually I'm going from Ethereum back into Bitcoin typically. So you want to continue to grow that side, that your stack, and then when it gives you the opportunity, right? When Bitcoin gives you the opportunity, it starts moving sideways again at a very bullish level. By the way, this would be a bullish level. So if Bitcoin does not go down and retest the 20-week moving average, then this would be a great level for altcoins to start performing well at. The reason they haven't so far is just because Bitcoin is the king and it's the one moving. If Bitcoin can go sideways at this level, then yeah, it becomes an altcoin paradise. But if that doesn't happen, then altcoins are going to remain incredibly risky. So again, we know that Bitcoin is the king. We recognize that it's a slow and methodical move, right, back to the prior all-time high of 20K. So 20K is all the way up here, okay? So it's a slow move back to the prior all-time high. And as I've said before, even if this plays out, right, we can just continue on this track. We're essentially getting there the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, to a sustainable $20,000. It's business as usual. It's nothing to write home about. It's nothing to make a sensationalist video on. It's business as usual. This is exactly what happened last cycle. We were more prepared for this scenario than any other scenario, because at least we said, okay, this is what will happen if the cycle repeats, right? So we're at least prepared for this scenario of, after testing the 20-week, if it continues the last cycle, it would go back up to 12K. And therefore, we project forward again and say, well, it will be nice if it doesn't go back to the 20-week to some regard, right? If it doesn't go back to the 20-week, this is good too, because then at that point, then altcoins can start to do really well in the short term. But we recognize that there is a high probability that Bitcoin will test the 20-week moving average again. And when it tests it, maybe it'll be closer to $11,000. And during that time, during a bleed to the 20-week, if that were to occur, then you can rest assured that most altcoins will likely bleed against Bitcoin and USD despite whether you think it's fair or not. That is how the market works, okay? So let me know what you guys think. If you guys want access to the premium list, which I would encourage you guys to check out. I mean, it is, I do provide a lot of valuable content. At least I would consider it to be valuable content on the premium list. You get access to weekly reports, weekly premium videos, an alerts channel, a chat room, private Telegram chat room, and a risk dashboard on the Telegram chat room. This morning, for instance, I published, like, I don't know, a ton of alerts talking about crypto, stocks, real estate, different types of things. So if you guys are interested in it, check out intothecryptoverse.com. You can also pay with crypto to pay for a lifetime membership if you want. So check it out. And I will see you there. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.